hooked in the game.
Get in there, Lewis. 11 race wins, 2014 World.
The winter is over. It's time for Formula One 2025. Yes, that long break that you've all been coping with so well can now be put to the back of your minds. It's on-track action and it's off-track drama. That's what we're looking forward to. The Melbourne circuit is certainly one that needs to be taken seriously. It's a combination of slippery surfaces and difficult corners, making it a very tricky track when it comes to overtaking. Drivers find it hard to pass and will need to take full advantage of those DRS zones if they want to have any hope of breaking through. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Fernando Alonso completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Hülkenberg, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Hamilton, Norris, Russell and Pierre Gasly, Hadjar, Lawson, Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Colapinto, Pierce, Piastri, Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll, Tsunoda, Behrman, Hayes and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me for the first time this season here in the commentary box, Naomi Schiff. Hello, Gnomes. New season, new dawn, and now 22 cars and 11 teams on the grid.
First of all, this is such an exciting time. I mean, to have an 11th team on the grid is exciting news for the sport. But for them today, I guess you would be really nervous. It's the first time you're going to be doing this. There is so much to learn. But at the end of the day, they've got to remember that expectations aren't that high. They've all been there before. They've all had their first race, and no one is expecting them to land on the top of the podium. So just learn to walk before you can run.
Okay, radio check, radio check. This is not going to be an easy race from this position, but just give it your best shot. DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Try to stay with them. They might make a mistake and we could still regain the position. Okay, the incident's been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed. Come on. You might experience some understeer now that you're in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as soon as possible. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 2.5 seconds. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
And to get a victory at the first race of the season, this might be a sign of things to come. One thing's for sure is that this performance will be giving the team and the driver relief and confidence going into the rest of the season.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. But there can only be one on the top step. Your number 1, Max Verstappen. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon. The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. Shanghai International Circuit then is a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience. And the flat, open to the elements location, test their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and they're available into turn 1 and down the kilometre-long back straight into turn 14. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and starting next to them is George Russell. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Piastri, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Hayes, Hülkenberg, Behrman, Stroll, and Fernando Alonso, Antonelli, Verstappen, Alex Albon, and Lawson, Ocon, Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar, and Pierre Gasly, Sainz, Colapinto, Pierce, and Gabriel Bortoleto rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And striding into our commentary box to join us today, the man, the myth, the legend, Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Okay, let's have a comms check, please. Radio check. Back of the grid, not great, I know, but let's just try and use the first lap to push your way up the order. Okay, DRS is now available. Okay, we've lost a position, that's us down a place. Look out for a bit of understeer when trailing the car ahead. They're going to be giving off dirty air, which is going to affect our tyres, so try to get past. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. And gap to the car in front, 1.7 seconds. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
There's room for 3 on their podium, but only ever 1 right at the top. Let the celebrations begin. And that is a fabulous win. And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. Welcome along to the legendary Suzuka. This classic racetrack boasts a long history dating right back to 1962 when it was first opened. Will more history be written here today at the Japanese Grand Prix? We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at the unique figure-of-8 Suzuka circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with average speeds approaching 136 miles per hour. DRS will be available, of course, into the potential passing opportunity at Turn 1, although the best place for overtaking will be through 130R and into the final chicane. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen starts on pole, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Alonso, Lando Norris and Tsunoda, Russell, Piastri, Ocon, Pierce, Antonelli, Hadjar, Nico Hulkenberg and Behrman, Bortoletto, Sainz, Alex Albon and Liam Lawson, Stroll, Colapinto, Gasly and Sonny Hayes rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. And alongside me in the commentary box today, a man who I always look up to, which is easier said than done, Anthony Davidson. Look, we know it's not where you start, it's where you finish, but let's talk about the start now. What's there to help the drivers get away well?
Big pressure at the start of the race, Crofty, for all of them up and down the grid, no matter where you are. But the drivers these days, they practice, practice and practice. They have rigs with them at the circuit where they can sit down with the actual steering wheel from the real car, and they've got lights that they react to. The clutch paddle is tailored around the driver's hands, around their fingers, so they can have optimum position before they start. So there's so much thought and effort that goes into getting these cars off the line.
Okay, radio check, radio check. I know you're frustrated to be this far back on the grid, but you've got to keep that under control. Keep a cool head and work your way through the field gradually as you go. It's not all going to be won or lost at the first corner. Now use DRS now available. lap to your teammate ahead, 10.8 seconds. Okay, gap ahead, 1.9 seconds. Final lap, push, push. Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And in the end, there was no Verstappen. Max Verstappen, he takes victory.
A great display of dominance today, Crofty, by this driver. They led from lights out to the flag at the end, led every lap of the race. Brilliant stuff by them, and excited to see what more they can do in future races.
Only 3 can take to the podium, and here they come. And for those that have missed the Dutch national anthem, fear not. It's back again, because Max Verstappen is back on the top step. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Welcome along, everyone, to sunny Spain, specifically to the circuit de Barcelona-Catalunya. So many great moments in Formula One history have been written at this very track over the years, including Michael Schumacher's first win for Ferrari back in '96. That win was in the rain. We might have better weather here today, but we're just as overjoyed to be at the Spanish Grand Prix. It's an updated track at Catalunya, and the popular opinion in the paddock is that we never wanted the chicane in the first place. That's now been gone, the final corner is much faster, and at 2.9 miles and 14 turns, we await the Spanish Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Fernando Alonso lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Piastri, Yuki Tsunoda, and Russell. Hülkenberg, Norris, Albon, and Max Verstappen. Hayes, Ocon, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Hadjar. Stroll, Lawson, Pierre Gasly, and Ollie Behrman. Sainz, Colapinto, Pierce, and Andrea Kimi Antonelli rounds off the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. And joining me in the commentary box once again, Naomi Schiff. Hi, Gnomes. Now, Ant, you always tell me you know Barcelona almost as well as you know the back of your hand. Given the amount of testing that goes on here and the amount of laps that you and all the other drivers have done, what are the challenges that are left when it comes to the race?
Well, this certainly is a favourite track when it comes to testing. And I'll tell you why that is. It's because it offers up so much variation. You've got corners that are fast, that are slow, that are long, that are short. So there's a lot to think about and a lot to work with. But T9 is one of my personal favourites because it is so challenging. Every time you get there, you think, should I lift or should I stay flat? Well, I tell you, stay flat. Commit.
All right, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check. Okay, let's try not to worry about being down here at the back. You've got the speed, you've got the car, so just take it easy and the race will come to you. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. Okay, mate, final lap. Keep your concentration and let's bring it home. Okay, gap to the car in front, 2.1 seconds. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
Another great victory to add to the list. Cool, calm and consistent does it.
It's been a hard afternoon of brilliant racing, but now it's time for some proper celebrations. The podium awaits. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next. Here in Montreal, lights out is quickly approaching on this artificial island originally built for the World Fair in 1967. Now it's used for a World's Fair of a different kind, ever since Formula One first arrived here. We're back in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. With top speeds of around 210 miles per hour heading into the overtaking opportunity of turn 13, the 2.7 miles of the circuit Gilles-Villeneuve are some of the quickest on the Formula One calendar. There are 14 corners in total, with 60% of the lap taken at full throttle, and average speeds clock in at about 130 miles per hour. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Joshua Pearce and Alonso, Stroll, Antonelli, Albon and Ollie Behrman, Tsunoda, Russell, Nico Hülkenberg and Ocon, Piastri, Bortoletto, Pierre Gasly and Isaac Hadjar, Colapinto, Lawson, Hayes and Carlos Sainz will start from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. So I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about this afternoon, and who's going to talk about it with us? None other than Naomi Schiff. Hi, Naomi. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. What a track this is, and what a challenge for the drivers this weekend. Long straights, heavy braking zones, and a very green surface to start with.
This happens to be one of the drivers' favourites. It is a low downforce circuit that is fast and flowing, but it is also demanding on the brakes. And be careful, because let's not forget the wall of champions that catches out so many.
Okay, radio check, radio check. I know you're gutted to be starting from here, but just focus on putting that and some other cars behind you. Good luck. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Nice work, mate. That brings you up a place. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 1.5 seconds. Okay mate, this is the final lap of the race, final lap. Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
Well, that's 2 race wins in a row for them. I think they'll be really happy with that. I mean, 1 race win is great, but to have 2, you know that you've got it. You're a little bit more comfortable in your skin. This is a great sign of maybe what's to come next.
It's what every driver imagines when they start out on their long road towards Formula One. And for our lucky 3 today, here's the podium waiting for them. And that is a fabulous win. And the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One. You join us in the United Kingdom today, or Great Britain as it's alternatively known. Well, it's certainly a great day today as we welcome you to one of the crown jewels of British sports, a track of speed, history and drama. It's Silverstone. It's the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of Silverstone Circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, George Russell, and Piastri. Sainz, Tsunoda, Ocon and Alex Albon. Hayes, Antonelli, Fernando Alonso and Gasly. Hülkenberg, Behrman, Isaac Hadjar and Franco Colapinto. Bortoletto, Lawson, Stroll and Joshua Pearce rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. As many people expected, our 11th team have struggled a bit this season, but there is a light at the end of the wind tunnel maybe for them, in that they'll get more time in that tunnel for next year.
Absolutely right, Crofty. It's almost like, think of it like this, a success tax. It's a nice problem to have, isn't it, really? But that's what the team are going to face moving forwards. But look, they've shown their quality so far, and I'm sure even with that limited wind tunnel time, they'll be great.
All right, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check. Right, mate, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but I want you to treat it like any other race. Let's not make any unnecessary risks, please. Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Okay, DRS is now available. Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus. turbochargers on its last legs. Let's try to keep mileage on it to a minimum. Okay, you've just started the final lap of the race. Final lap. Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins!
And of course, what 3 race victories, a hat-trick of wins, does for a driver's confidence is huge going forward in the championship. You know, they've got the energy on their side now, and it's for the others to try and stop this progression of victories.
From lights out to the checkered flag, this is what they're racing for. It's points and a trip to the podium. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon. Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometres long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, just ahead of George Russell, who starts this event from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Pierce, Norris, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Alonso, Albon, Antonelli, Verstappen, and Oscar Piastri, Tsunoda, Hülkenberg, Carlos Sainz, and Gasly, Behrman, Ocon, Liam Lawson, and Lance Stroll, Bortoletto, Colapinto, Hadjar, and Sonny Hayes rounds off the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track. And joining me in the commentary box this afternoon, the First Lady of World Motorsports, Naomi Schiff. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
It's a very special time for the drivers. It's almost like everything around you slows down and you become hyper-aware. So your nerves slightly go up, your adrenaline's going up. It's the perfect time to start focusing on your visualizations and preparing for the race. So you want to avoid distractions and really stay cool, calm, and focused.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check. We're at the back, but give it 100% and we can still come away with a decent result. I believe in you. Come on. Okay, pull the clutch in. Hold it there until the start. Let's build the revs up and hold them. Clutch out, we're green. I'm afraid you've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay. Radio check, radio check. Damage to your front wing, damage to your front wing. Suggest we box to change it. Are you okay? That was a nasty hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals. Okay, mate, radio check, please, radio check. If we don't want to be stuck near the back for most of the race, you're going to need to push early on. Good luck. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Okay mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Well, what happened? Let me know you're okay. Radio check, please. Radio check. We're going to struggle for a good position in this race unless we can gain some early positions. See what you can do. Damage to your front wing, damage to your front wing. Suggest we box to change it. Damage to your front wing, damage to your front wing. Suggest we box to change it. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
And Leclerc to the line, to the checkered flag. It's King Charles today. He wins.
Wow, 4 wins in a row. I mean, I do say wow, but I'm not that surprised because it is the 4th one in a row. Maybe this is getting a little too predictable. Come on, competitors, step it up.
What a day it's been for Formula One, and what a day it's been for these 3 drivers. Time for the podium celebrations. Time for our drivers to celebrate. And that is a fabulous win and the top step of the podium for Charles Leclerc. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One. Back in the 60s, Mexico City would host the season-ending race, a party of motor racing. Well, we might not host the finale now, but Mexico hosts a party nonetheless. So welcome to the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexico City Grand Prix. The Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 2.6 miles of track that allows drivers to take full advantage of their cars, reaching speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour and providing lots of opportunities for overtaking. The circuit features 17 corners, 10 to the right and the remaining 7 going to the left. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Leclerc, Alex Albon, and Hamilton. Hayes, Norris, Sainz, and Fernando Alonso. Hülkenberg, Behrman, Yuki Tsunoda, and Ocon. Antonelli, Gasly, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Isaac Hadjar. Colapinto, Lawson, Stroll, and Joshua Pearce rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track. And alongside me today, a man who I'm always pleased to see join me in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. So here we are, 2.2 kilometres up in the air, which I know is an unusual feeling for you, Mr. Davidson, but for the drivers, it's even worse.
It is. The altitude can certainly get to your head, Crofty, that's for sure. Especially when you're walking up the stairs to the commentary box. I've seen it firsthand, ladies and gentlemen, don't you worry. But this circuit, the problem with the altitude is it takes away your downforce. You have to go slower around the corners because you've got less downforce, even though you've got Monaco wing packages on your car. That's the challenge of this incredibly unique circuit.
Okay, radio check, radio check. Okay, Mark here, radio check. Check, check, can you hear me? Okay, we had a fantastic result at the last race. Let's try it again here. major front wing damage. Box, box, box. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look. Okay, clear. Okay, good work. Great pass. Okay, we've been given a 3-second time penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. The checkered flag is out. We're going to be hearing that Dutch national anthem again because it's victory for Max Verstappen.
They led from lights out to the flag at the end, and their race victory was never in doubt, was it? Brilliant stuff by them.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've absolutely loved watching that action today, and I'm sure these three have loved taking part. Here come our podium finishers. One of the all-time greats celebrates yet again. It's another podium, it's another top step for Max Verstappen. Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one. Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be key to any overtaking prospects today. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Antonelli, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly and Albon, Norris, Tsunoda, Leclerc and Carlos Sainz, Ocon, Hülkenberg, Fernando Alonso and Piastri, Behrman, Hadjar, Lance Stroll and Gabriel Bortoleto, Lawson, Pierce, Hayes and Franco Colapinto rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. Well, it's been a long time since I last worked with you. Good to see you again today, Anthony Davidson. There's a lot going on behind the scenes with our 11th team at the moment, particularly when it comes to their driver lineup. It's like an apparently happy marriage. They seem to have found that the grass might be greener on the other side.
And if you are one of those drivers, it's awful because you know that the success of your team that you've helped build from inside the car is now almost going against you because your team are looking elsewhere.
Okay, radio check, radio check. Now I know this isn't where we wanted to start this race, but given we're back here at the back of the grid, it means there's an opportunity to move forward. I've seen you karting back in the day, let's go and do it again. Mind that front wing, it's going to need replacing if it takes too much damage. Okay mate, don't worry about the damage. I've got some new strategy options if you go and check your MFD. Alright, give me a quick radio check please, radio check. Okay, we might be at the back of the grid and it's not the best place to start, but keep your chin up and push hard, it's Formula 1, anything can happen. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. Okay, I've got a brand new race strategy on your MFD if you want to go and check it out. Are you all right? Engine off, engine off. Okay, radio check, radio check. Right, back of the grid. I mean, there is literally only one direction we can go from here, so try and move forward and see if we can get something out of it. Okay, you've got a drive-through penalty. You've been given a drive-through penalty. Okay mate, we might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD. Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please. Alright, let's have a quick radio check, please. Radio check. Okay, this is going to take a monumental effort from you. I need you to push incredibly hard if we're going to get a good result today. Let's go and make it happen. I'm afraid you've been given a time penalty for that last incident, mate. There's a new strategy available on the MFD. All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And the best of British and the best on the track. It's George Russell who wins.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
Well, it's been a long wait for many of our drivers, but the wait is always worth it. Bring them out to the awaiting crowd. It's time for our podium celebrations. And taking his place on the top step of the podium, he gave it some hustle. Well done to George Russell. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action, and I can't wait to see what's next. Welcome to Las Vegas, and for Formula One, it's welcome back to Las Vegas. No longer do we race in the Caesars Palace car park. Tonight, the time is right to go racing in the street. 17 corners, 3 straights, 2 DRS zones, and the glitz and glamour of Las Vegas as we race around the 3.8 miles of Sin City. The strip has been taken over to become a straight tonight, commanding top speeds of around 212 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Behrman, Esteban Ocon, and Tsunoda, Sainz, Russell, Hülkenberg, and Max Verstappen, Alonso, Piastri, Joshua Pierce, and Antonelli, Albon, Hadjar, Gabriel Bortoleto, and Liam Lawson, Gasly, Stroll, Colapinto, and Sonny Hayes rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me, a man, well, what more can I say? But he's a legend, Anthony Davidson. So it's the final race of the season. We've had a brilliant time this campaign, but as one team principal told us a bit earlier, today we finish this campaign. Tomorrow we start the new one.
Absolutely, Crofty. Before you go into the long winter break, you want to show the rest of the world how good you are. The championship's done and dusted. This one is for your own personal pride.
Okay, give me a quick radio check, please. Radio check. Back of the grid's not what we're aiming for. See if you can make up a few places at the start. Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our finishing time at the end of the race. Get your head down and let's get it done. That move was illegal, I'm afraid, mate. Return the position, give it back. DRS now enabled. DRS enabled. Okay, give the other cars a bit more room if you can. It'll be a problem for us if we damage the car or get slapped with a penalty. Okay, you're in the top 10. You're increasing the gap to the car behind by a few seconds per lap. Keep it up. Great manoeuvre, you made it look so easy. Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap. And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Charles Leclerc, what a drive, what a victory, he wins! From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. And who gets to take the top step of the podium? Yes, it is I, Leclerc, Charles Leclerc on top. So let's celebrate the end of the season, but I know a lot of you will be very sad out there thinking, what are you going to do without Formula One? Don't worry, folks, it'll be back before you know it. We'll see you next year.